Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell at the Pig Site, and today we're here at World Pork Expo with Jim Long, who is the president and CEO of Genesis Genetics. Thanks for being with us today, Jim.
My pleasure, Sarah. Looking forward to having this conversation.
Fantastic. Tell me a little bit about what's going on in the U.S. and Canadian pork industry.
Well, as everybody knows, the price of pigs is fairly strong historically. You know, you got negotiated prices over $1.10 a pound U.S., and that's a good price. The challenge the industry has, if you're buying feed, the cost of production is probably as high as it's ever been, and that's a challenge for everyone. The other part is to grow the industry, you have to build some new facilities. The building costs are very high. Uh, it's a challenge. Having enough labor in farms is a challenge today, which is limiting productivity. There's some disease pressure from PRRS and PED is cutting production. Exports aren't as strong as they have been in some prior years. I would say the industry is okay, but not wonderful.
Very good. Fair enough. Tell us a little bit about the world. What are you and your people seeing around the world in the pork industry?
Well, the way I look at it, there's three major hog producing areas in the world. You got North America, you got Europe, and then you got Asia, which is mostly China. Okay,
Right.
so we've discussed the U.S., which kind of everything I talked about deals with North America. Europe, I just got back from 10 days in Europe, mostly England, but I was at the British Pig and Poultry Fair,
Right.
and there was people there from all over Europe who I've known for a number of years. So we had a good discussion on what's going on. Margins have been terrible in Europe, higher feed prices in here. Their cost of production is mostly over the price of pigs. There's ongoing liquidation in the sow herd. From what I can figure, I believe Europe's going to decrease about 1 million sows, which will obviously put less pork on the market, which they'll have less domestically and less for exports. So that's what I see going on there. I think the prices will increase in Europe over time because of less pork available. Move to China. China, the producers made a lot of money for 18 months during the ASF crisis. They build up their inventories. They've been overproducing. The industry, from what my calculations would be, has been losing up till maybe just recently $1 billion to $2 billion a week. There's several public companies. There's 11 public companies that are in the pig business on the Chinese stock exchange, and collectively they lost $15 billion US in the first quarter.
Wow.
So if my calculation, that's about 1/6 of the Chinese production. So if you just take that, kind of put that over the whole industry, there's a reason there's going to be less pigs in China. We're already seeing that happen. Small, just weaned pigs were selling for $30, and now they're $90. So I work on the premise nobody pays more than they have to. So they're having to pay $90 when they used to have to pay for $30, and that's a reflection of the less supply they're going to have. So to summarize, North America is not going to produce any more pigs, and it's already down in production. The price is good. Europe is decreasing pig production every day with their production base. China, the same thing. You put the three together. I don't know any time in history when all three major producing areas, which would be 75 to 80% of the world's pork production, is down in production at the same time.
Right.
I think we will probably see pork prices higher yet and probably record high
Really?
at some point in the future. Now the feed price is a challenge,
Right.
and I don't know what's going to happen there. You tell me what's going to happen with Ukraine, and I'll tell you whether or not the corn price is going to move $2 a bushel one way or the other. And that's part of the reality we're dealing with. The pork supply is going to decline. What the feed price is going to do, I have no idea. But that's my opinion. So, thank you.
One question I have for you, in Europe, we're hearing that energy prices, it's not just feed prices, but energy prices are really soaring there as well.
Yes, all costs, right? Like right today, let's say I was in the UK. We have Genesis has swine production facilities there. They have the highest price of pigs they've ever had, and they're losing in U.S. dollars, $40 per head.
Yeah.
Like it's feed, it's labor, it's energy, it's a total cost, and it's a real challenge that's a burden. And I'll take it a step farther. It's not only a burden on the poultry industry; it's a burden on the, as I said the poultry industry, the pig industry,
Right.
and the poultry industry, and we're going to see less poultry. I was talking to a friend of mine in France, who said there was 10,000 empty poultry barns in France right now.
Oh my gosh.
And he's been
Right.
heavily involved in poultry. So you hear that, and it's about total meat supply.
Right.
You look at the U.S., the USDA is projecting 1.9 billion pounds less beef next year in the United States. That's a 7% decline in beef production. It's the whole market is about the aggregate of all the meats available.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really quite optimistic of where this market could go for the pig producers. The big
For
challenge is the
prices,
feed
right?
price. The
Right.
prices.
Yeah.
The prices. Feed prices are the issue,
Very good.
in my opinion.
Very good. One quick question about China. Circle back to the sow herd. Last year when we were talking, they were trying to repopulate with some success, some not such great success. What are you seeing, the remnants of ASF over there? What's going on?
Okay. They had built up their inventory. From everything we can say, about a year ago in July,
Right?
they started liquidating, and they've been liquidating ever since. We do the world mega producer list. There's one company on there called Zinbang who told us they had 1 million sows last year.
Right.
Okay, towards the end of last year, and they're a public company, and they just came out a couple weeks ago with a decrease. They're announcing they have 380,000 sows now. So in 6 to 8 months, they declined, that one company, 600,000 sows. That's 10% of the U.S. sow herd.
Wow.
So I think that's just a reflection of what's going on. I think on a minimum, they've decreased 4 million sows, and probably it's higher. It's probably 6 million sows. So from July last year to now, I believe they decreased the U.S. sow herd.
Interesting
That's why
stuff.
there'll be less pork. That's why those little pigs have gone from $29 to $90,
Right.
because there's less of them.
Very good. And one final question. ASF in the United States, obviously it's not here yet, and or in North America, right? So we don't have it in Mexico, we don't have it in the U.S., and we don't have it in Canada. What's the sense among producers? Is it that it's coming, it's a matter of time, or is there confidence that we can keep it out?
I think most producers have different opinions. I don't think there's a consensus. I think it can be managed if it comes from my experience, like in other countries where we've worked, where there's ASF. A lot more pigs have died from PRRS than ASF.
Yeah.
A lot of the ASF was because people killed the pigs, not that they died.
Right.
The challenge we have is it's a reportable disease, so that means it's either supposed to be not safe for humans to eat or economic
Right.
damage. I really am kind of challenged by why it is a reportable disease, because it isn't a danger to human.
Right. It's not zoonotic.
Yeah. And the economic effect is the fact the border's closed.
Right.
We've done business in Russia for a long time, till just a while ago, and they would say there 10 times more pigs died from PRRS than ASF.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you kind of
Right.
look at it, what really matters.
Right. Some countries manage it as an endemic disease, right?
Yeah, and I think
Right.
you can. The Chinese are kind of managing it now.
Yeah.
And they really haven't put in the protocols some other countries have.
Very
I
good.
think if we got it here, we could knock it out, but it will be the damage will be what happens to the markets.
Right. Yeah, those export markets, right? Very good. Well, thank you, Jim, for your time today and for all the information.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site.